Welcome to another edition of TT&T. Today my special guest, Mr. Ronnie Caps, 8-time national champion. We just returned from Kentucky Lake, Tennessee State Championship. Ronnie and Steve placed second, almost won it. Was first runner-up, just a few ounces made the difference. But today we're going to talk about his technique that he used to catch his fish at Kentucky Lake.
Glad to be here and glad to have the opportunity to maybe help somebody catch another crappie or two there when they're out. But you know, me and you, we grew up right here on this pond of water, and this little technique that I'm going to talk about is one that's, if I had to pick one thing in the whole wide world, I guess it'd be minnow rigging. Yep. Without a doubt, to get some fish in the boat. And we've taken it far and near, you know, Florida, clean to Michigan, same technique. It works anywhere. But a few things that we've done over the years make it even more efficient. I mean, you know, we started out with cane poles. Started out with black catgut line, you know, and hooks that were twice the size of this one. But anyway, we've basically fine-tuned our rigs, and they're probably more efficient than they've ever been. You're seeing stringers of fish that's never been seen before. It's not because of the fish hadn't been in the lake. It's because fishermen know how to catch them better, without a doubt. So I'm gonna go through some of the real simple things to do with this minnow rig. Way to break it out is basically pull off the bottom hook of the rig. Real simple. Got a number 2 214 EL extra light wire hook on the bottom. I got a this is a 1/2 ounce. That's what we won at Kentucky Lake with, 1/2 ounce. You know, I got about a 10-inch leader between the hook and the sinker. Then I go straight down to, or straight up actually, to a 3-way, the high-tech tackle 3-way swivel, size 8, and what I got's about a 30-inch piece of line between the first eye of my 3-way and the sinker. Then I got my top hook, the top dropper. It's basically old real foot style minnow rig. I mean, boy, the ones we used to fish with was made out of 50-pound mono and had 2 gold hooks, and you can tell it's way different than what we used to fish with. But that's as simple as it gets. Basically, this little rig will provide a minnow with maximum freedom to roam on his own. When I hook a minnow, don't have one with me right now, but I usually always lip hook them right through the end of the lips. And the extra light wire hook does a bunch of work for me in that, one, it's a light. The minnow can swim anywhere he wants to with this thing. I mean, it's not a real heavy hook on him. He can take it and do his thing as long as he's a good lively minnow. But also this hook is extra light wire, which means when I get it hung or have a problem in a brush top or on a stump, it will bend out. It's a small hook, but it'll catch a 3-pound crappie, but it'll bend out like a pin. I can take that hook, put it right back in place with just a push of my finger. It's right back ready to go again. And this line that I'm using is 10-pound fluorocarbon. It's actually my line, my own personal endorsed line. It's a fluorocarbon, which is 10-pound. It'll stretch enough and also be strong enough to straighten this hook when I'm hung. But at any rate, that little hook does more work than any little tool I know of for us, you know, as far as catching fish, holding fish, and getting unhung. It's a must for the rig to be successful. If you use any other kind of hook, I mean, you're gonna be breaking line and breaking poles and who knows what else. The other part of this whole system is my B&M pole that I've got it rigged on here, and it's also my personal endorsed pole. B&M Poles makes them. I asked Jack Wells, he's president and owner of B&M, to make a pole a little bit heavier with a little more backbone than his BGJP, which is Buck's graphite jig pole, which was what we all of us grew up using, and what we knew as an awesome crappie pole way back when. But it just really didn't have enough backbone to support our minnow rig. So this is slightly stiffer than the BGJP. It's not as stiff as that Pro Staff pole that they have out. If you want to move up to like a 1 ounce or a 1.5, I've even fished 2 ounce sometimes. That pole would probably more suit the deal. But the advantages of my pole, like I said, it's a little stiffer, but also I got quite a bit more distance between my reel seat and the end of my pole. I got a bell on the end of it, which actually, when you're fishing good still water, you'll realize how much it is an advantage to have the bell on the back, because you can maneuver your pole not more than 1.5 inches and gain about 6 to 7, 8 inches even with pole tip vertical movement. What I'm talking about is when you set this thing in the holder, it's basically just a move from there to there, and you've gained about 7 or 8 inches altitude vertically with the tip of your pole, you know, as far as an adjustment for your pole tips. I mean, if you're having to bite some little waves or whatever, I mean, that's a pretty neat adjustment, rather than have to adjust your pole holder. Anymore, we got some super pole holders, man, that have also helped in that you can do a quick adjustment just as easy right there. But this was actually pre these, right, way back when I said, man, I need that right there now. That worked out real neat. But also, if you're fishing out the back, the main part there that's an advantage too is to not let your pole go flying out of the pole holder. If it's a straight butted pole and gets hung, and you're fishing out the back a lot of times and not paying attention to a pole, it could get hung, line stretched straight out, and shoo, the pole jumps out of the socket. But these pole holders are made for quick grab, bites, and you know, you can grab that pole in a second and have him hooked. These are definitely high-tech pole holders compared to what we used to have, and we're catching way more fish without a doubt. Keeping them independent, can't tell you how much that means. I fish with a T-bar and 4 of these side by side. It's daylight and dark. Anyway, man, do we have fun chasing crappie around the country with this rig, and I guess I'd put it up against anything that I've ever fished with. When I don't know. A lot of times we'll let the technique basically be determined by how deep we're fishing. And if I get real shallow and get real heavy cover, I'll go single jig rigs, and in place of this rig I've got on here right now, it'll just be a single jig with a 1/16 ounce jig head and a variety of colors, whatever. But if we're in real heavy color like here at Reelfoot and the lily pad stems, there's just almost no way you could fish a minnow rig. So the jig rigs are what I usually go to when I'm in heavy stuff. But you know, we've got 5 sizes of these rigs out. I guess here at Reelfoot, my all-around size would be the 3/8, deep and shallow water. If I had to pick one size, a 3/8 sinker is probably going to be your very best choice. If you was going Kentucky Lake, you know, on the other hand, you'd probably be up in the 1/2, 3/4 range. Even ones, I go to ones down Pickwick sometimes. I'm fishing 26 to 32 foot of water. Get your bait down there quicker, and you're able to, you know, cover more ground, and that's the difference in the rigs. I got it.
We talked a little bit, you showed us how you made the rigs, but if people don't want to go to the trouble, this is the same thing that you just showed us.
Sure.
You had these mass produced, but they're exact same thing that you tie when you're in competition, or whether you're fishing, guiding, or whatever.
Same thing. Same thing, Tim. What the difference is the weight size. That's one of the big differences, but the other big difference is the length of the rig. You're holding a 1/4 ounce, which is an awesome rig when fish are finicky right here on Reelfoot for using on these fishing in the stump flat. 1/4 ounce would be my pick. It's a whole lot shorter. I'm saying shorter being the distance between the hook, each hook, right, basically. The rig is shorter. You going down here to the 3/4 ounce that I'm holding right here. The weight's also bigger, but also the length between hooks is larger.
Is that because you're wanting to cover 2 different strike zones in deeper water? Or?
Yeah, if you're fishing 20 foot of water, you can put baits in a wider area basically, and you know, covering that vertical column of water more efficient pays dividends at the end of the day. You know, you want to try to cover as much as you can, but usually when you're fishing deep like that, we're fishing clear water anyway. A fish, you know, spreading those baits apart. Just say if you're bumping down a creek ledge or river ledge at Pickwick and it's 25 foot deep, and you know, a stump might be 12 foot tall off the bottom, right on those are river stumps, and you know, your bottom hook could be near a fish that's staying near the bottom of the root part of the stump, and at the same time, top hook may catch one that's right on suspended, kind of right over the top of it. So I've caught double catches a lot of times. But anyway, that's the reason for the separation of the hooks and the long length on the rigs. But if you hadn't tried minnow rigging, you need to get on the front of that boat. Manage the trolling motor. Can't emphasize enough. It's probably number one most important thing. Keep your bow in the wind unless you're dragging a chain or a drift sock. Keep your bow in the wind and just ever so slightly creep down some sort of contour, any kind of creek ledge, stump flat. As long as you got some structure and you haphazardly going to hit something once in a while, you're usually going to get lucky more often than not. So can't miss out with minnow rigging without a doubt.